Hi everyone, welcome to Fundamental Online Tutorials of DC Suite. My name is Conrad and I'm a 3D designer on the DC Suite team. In this video, you will learn how to use digital fabrics in DC Suite, includes editing fabrics and applications of artwork. So let's start it. Unlike real fabric, we will adjust the fabric surface textures and the physics properties separately in a 3D environment. At first, I will introduce how to use the surface of the texture. Fabric texture usually composed by color map, normal map, and the specular map. The color map is used as the texture's colors of the fabric. The normal map is used as the raised and recessed effect of the texture, and the specular map is used as the reflectance of the texture. In DC Suite, these three maps are used in the Sprite of Property Editor window. We usually place the main fabrics on the first layer. The format of the texture map is image file, so you can use PNG or JPEG. The difference is PNG can display images with transparency like logo or print, which has removed the background. In the picture, you can see the difference between the PNG and JPEG files in the same fabrics on the shirt sleeves. In DC Suite, the second layer of the sprite is used to place decorative materials, such as embroideries, badges, and the beads. These decorative textures are usually patterns with transparency. They will be attached to the main fabric rather than exist alone. Besides the fabric textures or prints used on the pattern, the bottom maps will be used on the points, and the stitch maps will be used on the line. We can change different styles of stitch and paste them on patterns through the line. There are two ways to bring digital fabrics into DC Suite from your local file. At first, select the pieces of patterns where you want to put on fabric. You can do it whether in the 3D window or the 2D window. Remember that the showing lines of the patterns needs to be turned on. Otherwise, the function related to patterns will be unavailable. Go to the Sprite browser to find the buttons from Editing Texture. Import color map to the textile field. And import the normal map to texture field. At last, import specular map to specular field. Finally, click on the texture window to place the textures one by one. The first lattice is for the color map, the second for the normal map, and the third is for specular map. Adjust the tiling value. Then you can see that the fabric has been completely passed on the pattern. The second method will be very convenient. We screw the mouse To find the import buttons of fabric, go to the local file to find the entire folder of the fabrics and select it. The texture will be automatically imported to corresponding positions, and the tiling value will also be brought in correctly. Basically, a lot of adjustment time can be saved. The premise of using this method is that you must use the fabrics which download from Scanetic website. I will introduce this part later. In the next, I will introduce the fabric editing tools in DC Suite. When you import pieces of fabrics, you can make the following adjustments or change through the editing window. When you choose original mode, the image will be repeatable pasted. It is for use in logos, prints, zipper hats, and other materials that do not need to be repeated. The repeat mode is for applications on general fabrics. You can see that the image has been repeated as the smallest unit. Color control functions can only be used on the color map texture. Ground colors is used to change the colors of the patterns without fabrics. When the fabric is already passed on your patterns, these adjustments will have no impact. This is why I delete the color map before adjusting. You can use a opacity tool to adjust the transparency of the map. Colorway is used to change the color of the fabric. You can select any RGB color in the window or directly enter the RGB number. Of course, you can also use the eyedropper tools to click on the colors in the screen. Mapping control is used to adjust the image positions on the patterns and UV ratio. In DC Suite, H represents the horizontal, which is the directions of the weft yarn. V stands for vertical, which is the directions of the warp yarn. You can adjust the HV toolbar to see the patterns is moved in the directions you selected. Let me explain more details to UV textures and UV mapping. The first point in the slide, UV can be interpreted as the texture size of the units in 3D, and UV is plane coordinates of the texture. Second point, tiling is equal to the scaling ratios of UV coordinates. It's also equal to the HV values in DC Suite. On the third point, if you want to keep the size of the fabric when uploading the projects, you can go to the menu of Settings, Project Settings, General, Fix the UV ratios calibrations UV. And last point, in DC Suite, the conversion rule of UV from units to actual size is 1 unit equals 100 centimeter. For example, the picture size of the orange fabric is 5 centimeters in length and 4 centimeters in width. So, we can calculate that the value of H in DC Suite is 100 divided by 4, which equals 25. The value of V is 100 divided by 5, which equals 20. When adjusting the tile, the ratios of the image will change. You can see the effects of adjusting the ratios of H or V separately. Or you can check the box. The value of H and V will be changed together. Let's see the Rotate tool. You can turn the weaving directions by the tool. Rotating the icon or entering the values is both available. Before introductions to flip functions, I will teach you a shortcut kit to quickly pass the settings of the fabrics from one pattern to another. At first, select the patterns you want to edit, press Alt C. Then, click on the patterns, press Alt V. As you can see, the same settings was copied and passed to another. Now, if I want to symmetrical textures on the left and right sides of the front patterns, I can click on the Flip tools, which provides two options, left and right reversal, and upside down. Let's move to Shader Editor. In the 3D environment, Shader adjusts the reflections and shading effects for the model. Different from the specular map, it belongs to the settings of the 3D environment. These adjustment settings will not be carried on the maps, but will be packaged in another format. You can export the adjust settings to a local file and import to other projects. We provide several different presets so that you can quickly select the shader effect you need and make fine adjustments based on this setting. Next, I will introduce a fabric scanning tools and cloud platform. It is very easy to use and can help you quickly create digital fabrics, display and apply them to 3D garments. You can learn more from the link above. As you can see in the video, this box called Nuno Fabric Scanner. The lightings and ambient color temperatures are controlled through the environment in the light box, so that the results of each scan will not be affected by changes of the external environment. After scanning, the data will be automatically sent to the cloud account. The share links functions allow you to share the 3D fabric scenes as a link. Just like sharing your Google link, copy and paste it where you want to share. The most important questions for DC Suite or other 3D software user is how to use the scanned digital fabrics on the 3D softwares like DC Suite, Glow 3D, or Browseware. Different 3D software requires different results of maps. This is also an advantage of using scanned fabrics from the Scanetiq Nuno scanner. It provides maps in multiple formats so that you can find the corresponding textures results in different 3D software. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Set Sprite Origin functions to match the plate and patterns in DC Suite. As you can see in the 3D window, the check patterns of these garments did not match smoothly in front placket, and the side, which made the garments looks not delicate enough. So at first, we go to the windows and switch the pattern mode from default color to textile, so that we can see the distributions of textures more clearly on the patterns. Next, go to the panel menu to find the Set Sprite Origin function and click. This function allows you to redefine the center points placement of the fabrics on the pattern. When we do the plate matchings, we will hope that the center points of the different patterns are on the same horizontal line or vertical line. So we have to find horizontal lines for this garment first. I think the horizontal lines under the armpits is nice. So following the hints of the mouse, I first select the back, press enter to confirm the selections, and set the center points on the armpits. In the same way, set the center points to the armpits for the left front patterns. Same operations for the right front pattern. Now the join of side is smooth. However, the check patterns in front is not completed. So I come to the front patterns of the 2D window and set the center points at the intersections of the bottom's vertical lines and armpits horizontal line. Make a little twinkling. Now you can see that the check on the left and right patterns are well connected. Then we set the sprite origins of the patterns on the sleeves. View the results timely from 3D window, then go back to 2D window to make adjustments. Same operations for the left sleeves. Finally, the plate matchings has completed. Now I will demonstrate how to use the skill we just learned to design fabric print, and how to make a logo. You can see that there is a logo design on this garment. So at first, open a simulated 3D garments project, which patterns has not been attached with any materials. First, select all the patterns to put on the main fabric. This time, I import full maps of fabrics all at once. Find the folders of the fabrics from the local file. Select the entire folders with full maps informations. Import to DC Suite and make sure that all the settings are correctly. Next, I want to use another pieces of fabrics on the garment This time I import the maps one by one. Go to the local file and find the fabrics maps. Color map has been imported. Next, quickly find the normal map through the path. Finally, the specular map has been imported too. I want to replace the front fabrics of the pants to this green stripes fabric. Using these imported methods, we'll need to adjust the tile value. According to the experience, I set H and V value to 20. Adjust the tiling value after selecting the normal map. Send operations for specular map. You can see that this garment has 2 pieces of fabrics on the surface. Now I want to add some prints to the main fabric. First, go to the local file to find the printed image files that has been removed the background. I want to use these 3 materials for printing design. So I first imported the image files individually into the textile field. All 3 materials has been imported. Next, select the patterns I want to put on the print. We know in the second layers of splice window is for the decorative materials. Select the maps and adjust translate or tile to achieve the effect I want. View the adjustments from the 3D window timely. It can let you confirm more quickly whether these adjustments is the result you want. At last, I set the tilings on the prints of the top and pants to 20.5 for H and 0.1 for V. For the sleeves, I hope it has the same print settings as the front panel. So I chose the patterns of 06 PNG file. After pasting, I think the positions of the prints is not what I want. So use the Translate HV to move the vertical positions. Adjust for the left fronts of the panel first. Finally, I think that the setting value of H to 175 and V to 151 is the result I want. Press Alt C to copy the settings. Alt V to paste on other patterns. At last, I want to add graphic logos on the left front of the panel. First, go to the 2D windows and create rectangles on left front panel. Set width to 9.7 cm and height to 3.88 cm. Turn on the measure show to confirm the length value. Convert the line to the interior lines of the panel. Find Create Interior Line in the panel menu. Follow the hints to select the patterns. Select the line, press Enter. Then turn on the showing of lines on the 3D window. In the Attribute window, find 3D Activate in Triangulations and change the setting to Yes. The line has lights up in blues on the 3D window means success. Move the line to the most appropriate positions on the pattern. Then click Create Panel icon to generate the panel. Convert it into the 3D window and move it closer to the pattern. Then establish sewing relationship. For the situations of the join relationship between patterns of more than one layer, we will use attaching seam. After setting, click on the pattern. Find Superimpose Functions in the Attribute window and check it. This setting will make your logo patterns and the main patterns fit together and avoid crossover during simulation. Set offset to 0.1. Then go to the sprite window to bring the logo prints into the field of the color map. And adjust tiling to set the value of H to 10 and the value of V to 25. Then we complete the practice. No matter if the logo is printed or text, as long as it is a PNG file with transparency, it can be used in 3D garment designs in this way. The functions I will introduce next can effectively change the settings of designs or different color designs and make a timeless comparisons. In 3D window, you can see that I have complete a garment design. First, go to the 3D garment layers, find the icons of Style Browser, click to Add Style, and give it a name. For example, I name these designs as Style 1. The small icons on the right side of the windows are the Update buttons and the Delete button. Then I go back to the 3D windows to adjust the design. I want to recall these settings as the second set of the style. Add the second set of designs in Style Browser and name it Style 2. Then process to the third set of the designs. These adjustments are based on today's teaching's contents, so you can use this editing tool to create various changes on your own. Finally, name the design as Style 3. Now we have 3 designs that can be switched. Click the positions of the style name. Style browsers allow you to do the real-time designs or color matching combinations. I can also delete one of the styles or remove the orders of the styles. The above is how to use the style browsers function. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. For more tutorials, please subscribe our YouTube channel. See you in next time.